everyone, this is Hannah and Cailin, back again with Double Talk. I'm Hannah.
And I'm Cailin.
In 2019, Neal was at a crossroad. He had left his career as a minister after 15 years to attend film school and study content creation and digital cinema when he began to struggle with his identity and purpose. It was his therapist who suggested that Andy take a hike, literally, and his life completely changed. Now, Andy is a hiker, model, actor, and filmmaker who hosts Hiker Podcast and is going viral for his message to his followers about body positivity and inclusivity. Today we are catching up with Andy to discuss how getting active can give you a mental makeover and how he's standing out online just by doing what he loves. Listen in. What I love about the space that you've carved for yourself online is that you haven't had to decide to just be one thing, right? You're an actor, you're a filmmaker, you're a hiker, and we love following you for all of the above. What do you think is the secret? What's the secret recipe to being able to build a community and stand out?
I have been making content like this, podcast, YouTube, Instagram, trying to break through the noise, really for the last 7-8 years. I've hosted a Disney podcast for 7 years talking about Disney. I did funny YouTube videos. I did serious entertainment industry YouTube videos. I discovered hiking about two and a half years ago now, and just started posting it on my Instagram. And I think with the pandemic going on and people just issues like mental health coming more to the forefront, and the new year, people are wanting to get out and, go for walks and go for hikes and do more stuff for them. It was just the right place at the right time. I looked really goofy in my video. I had a goofy look, and I did it on a whim. It was just something I saw a friend of mine do, the stupid walk for my stupid mental health. And I'm like, well, I'm a hiker. I could do stupid hike for my stupid mental health. And I had dropped off my daughter at school. I was by the river. I was like, I'm just going to do this real quick. And I actually posted it once, found a typo, immediately took it down, re-edited it in the parking lot in my car, and then posted it. And then 20 minutes from the river to the gym, it had already had 10,000 views. The most views I'd ever had in a reel before was 9,000. And that was over several months. And it just hit. And by the weekend, that was a Tuesday. By the weekend, it hit 100,000 views. I put it on TikTok that weekend. TikTok, it took off. And it got to 1 million. And then something about Instagram, it really took off. And now I'm at 23.5 million. I don't know the secret sauce. I think, honestly, if you're going to be a content creator, you just got to be consistent and do what you love. People can see that you're authentic. People can see if you're just trying to pander for views. And I was just being myself and being goofy and being silly. And there was some trending music that was going on, right place, right time. And the algorithm showed me favor.
It was the perfect storm. I mean, I see why that video, the stupid hike, is how we found you too. I see why, because it's funny, but it's also relatable. I mean, everybody kind of knows that going out in nature is a good thing to do for your mental health. So I think a lot of people are laughing along, but they're also like, well, maybe I should do that.
Yeah,
that's
true.
a good idea. Like, I need that right now in my life. So really, when we think about your journey here, there's two different aspects of it. One, there's you deciding what you want to do in your life and what, how you want to spend your time, either your free time or otherwise. And then there's the decision to film that and share it with an audience. So when you discovered hiking, you said 2 years ago around the beginning of the pandemic, what made you decide to post on Instagram? Because I know you've had this podcast and everything before, but what made you decide to share that particular part of your life and how it affected your mental health with your audience?
It's just one of those things. So many people are struggling with mental health, and I've had my own mental health struggles, changing careers. You have the existential crisis, like, who am I? I've adopted children from foster care who are dealing with mental health struggles themselves. And I know when I see other people I look up to and they say, it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to go to therapy. It's okay to see a counselor. It encourages me. So I just wanted to put that story out there and say, hey, this is what I've gone through. This is what I've been through, and it's okay. And there are certain parts of my life I'm not going to share that are private and are family related. But at the same time, I know I've been encouraged by other people who have shared their struggles. So I'm okay with doing that and showing that part of my life to people.
If you are really struggling, even the decision to get up and go outside and go for a hike could be really difficult, even though once you're out there, that could be the thing that helps you. And a lot of times it is the thing that helps you. What would you say to someone that just needs that extra push though?
Baby steps, little steps. Don't worry about going out on a 10-mile hike, 5-mile hike. Go walk around your block. Do that day one. walk to the end of the street and come back. Walk around the block the next day. Next day, go on to alltrails.com, find a small trail near your house that's maybe in the city, maybe it's in a park. Drive there, check it out, walk to it, walk back to your heart. Baby steps. You don't have to go out and go to REI, and I love REI. They've been great to me. I was just there yesterday. You don't have to go to REI and buy all the stuff and spend all the money right off the bat. Just baby steps. Get on some tennis shoes, some sneakers, some trainers, and 100 yards. Walk in the park. Walk your dog to the end of the street and back, and make those baby steps, because in the end, you'll feel better, and each one will get a little easier and a little easier.
You also put out a message of body positivity. Did you feel like there was a gap for other models or other hikers on social media?
Or other people.
Was there a longing from you to see somebody else or to see better representation there that in that way you wanted to fill?
I never set out to fulfill it, but I was totally aware of it. You go into an outfitter or you look into some sort of outdoor, publication, and you see a lot of men. They're generally white, 8-pack abs, they're ripped, they're just, looking good. They're conquering nature, and and that's what we see. And so if you are LGBTQ, person of color, if you're plus size fat, you don't see yourself, so you don't realize that you're welcome there. And I say this as a straight cisgendered white male. I realize I have a lot of privilege, but I am fat. I'm in a bigger body. I'm plus size. And so when I began to get feedback from people that said, hey, it's great to see a bigger person out there, I'm like, oh, wow. And then places like unlikelyhikers.com, they reposted me on their Instagram. They have, hundreds of thousands of followers. And I got to know Jenny Brusso, who was a founder of Unlikely Hikers, and got to know a lot more of people in bigger bodies who are enjoying the outdoors and enjoying nature. And it's never something I set out to do, but once I realized, especially this time last year, I was getting messages from people saying, hey, you putting yourself out there on Instagram has really encouraged me. You talking about your struggles on your podcast, the Hiker Podcast, let me know, even though I'm in a bigger body or whatever other setback I have, the outdoors is for me. That's been extremely encouraging, and just it's been worth it all. And so I went from just being a person who just put myself out there and put my hikes out there to really setting out to say that hiking, it should be for everyone and everybody. It doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, who you love. If you so choose, hiking can be for you.
What is the most important thing that you would say being in nature has taught you?
Growing up in the city, I grew up outside Los Angeles in Las Vegas, moved to this area about 10 years ago. And there was this connectedness to nature and the earth. And this maybe sounds kind of hippy dippy, but it's real, that I've never felt before. When I started getting into hiking, and like, for instance, I go backpacking this past summer, and we've had, horrible drought and fires out here on the West Coast. My map says there should be a stream here and I need water, and there's not water there because there's no stream because we're in a drought. At that point, I can't get what I need because the earth doesn't have it because of the effects of climate change and drought and fires and everything else, and snowpack. And so there was just this amazing connectedness in this point where I knew I'm out of water and I got to hike 2 more miles before I know there is water. There's a pump up there 2 miles ahead. There was this amazing connectedness I felt to the earth, that we are all connected, whether it's the climate, the soil, each other. What someone does over here affects other people in other parts of the earth over there, and it's all connected. And the biggest thing I have learned is that all the earth, all of us are connected in a way. And what happens, somewhere across the Pacific Ocean affects here, and vice versa. And it's an amazing feeling living on this earth, knowing that we are connected. It's amazing, it's beautiful, and terrifying at the same time. And it's spurred me on to be an advocate for things like leave no trace when you're out in nature, in the trail. Make sure you're not you're leaving things better than you found it. And there's little things like not using plastic water bottles. I switched to a reusable water bottle. I mean, they're little tiny things, but if enough of us do it, we can make a difference.
Where is your favorite place that you've hiked so far? And then where's the place that you haven't been yet that you'd still like to?
I love the West Coast. I live in an area right by the Pacific Crest Trail, and I love my area on the Pacific Crest Trail, specifically in Crater Lake National Park. It's beautiful. It's diverse. Crater Lake is the deepest freshwater lake in North America, I believe the world as well. And I just love that area. One place I would love to hike in is in New Zealand. New Zealand, the Te Aroha, they have a trail that runs from the South Island all the way to the north part of the South Island. You take a ferry across and then you keep hiking across the North Island. I would love to hike across New Zealand one day.
Do you listen to music? I mean, is it a meditative experience? Like, what goes through your mind when you're on a hike?
There's no right headspace to be in. I don't like wearing, a lot of people will do earbuds or Apple earbuds. I generally, when I hike, I like to hear the wind blowing through the trees. I like to hear the streams. Sometimes if I'm early on a hike and it's at a trailhead and I hear the cars, I'll put some earbuds in to drown that out for a little bit. But I like being able to hear what's going on around me. Also, if there's other hikers coming up behind me, because I am a slow hiker, I can hear them as well. And then there's wild animals. You want to be able to hear them if they're coming up on you. So, as far as headspace goes, you go out to the outdoors and nature to get what you need, and you do what works for you. Some people it's mental health, some people it's physical health, some people it's just a feeling of connectedness. For some people it's community. They go out and hike in groups and they feel this incredible sense of community. Whatever you're looking for and you're wanting to find, hiking might provide it for you.